If you're complaining about me protecting my family, then leave this house. Do you even know this house belongs to my dad? If anyone is leaving, it's you. If your sister is so important to you, why don't you rent a place and live with her and her kid? I bet you're too lazy to pay for everything for all three of you. Shut up, don't make fun of me like that. My husband slapped me across the face. That's what happens when you don't listen to me. If you don't want it to happen again, do what I say. My name is Kate. I'm 34 years old and work in an office. I live with my husband, Corey, and our 6-year-old daughter, Michelle, in a small apartment that's perfect for our family. But recently, a problem started when someone moved in unexpectedly. That someone is my sister-in-law, Judy, out of nowhere. She showed up at our house with her 3-year-old daughter. She says her husband is abusive and that she's scared for herself and her daughter. According to her, he gets violent sometimes, so she left and came to stay with us. Her parents live in the countryside, and she didn't want to move there because her daughter just started kindergarten. Corey heard her story and invited her to stay with us without asking any questions. At first, I agreed to let her stay for a while. I thought it would be okay. But after a month, I started to question if Judy was telling the truth. She hasn't done anything to move forward, no sign of getting a divorce or finding a new place to live. She's been here a month now, and I'm starting to think she should be doing something by now. I haven't heard anything about her husband contacting her either. When I ask Corey, he just says, it's a private matter with Judy. I'm the one handling most of the household expenses, not Corey, so I need to know how long Judy plans to stay with us. To be honest, I want her to leave as soon as possible. If Corey won't do anything about it, I'll have to talk to Judy myself. Judy, when are you getting a divorce? Have you hired a lawyer? Have you found a place to live? But when I ask her these questions, she acts weak and says, I'm not ready for all that yet. She eats so much of the food I cook, and sometimes she leaves her daughter with me while she goes out. She comes home smelling like alcohol. When I tell Corey about it, he just says, she's been through a lot with her husband, let her be, and does nothing. I didn't know this before, but it seems like Corey is really attached to his sister. He spoils her, and she takes advantage of it. That's why she doesn't listen to me. Recently, it feels like she's getting too comfortable in our home. She's always sitting on the couch. She's there before I leave for work, and when I come back, she's still there. She doesn't help with anything around the house, leaves the air conditioner running all day, and uses our food for her own meals without asking. One time, I came home to find the groceries I bought for dinner were gone. I had to go back to the store to buy more. This has been happening for 2 months now, and I really can't take it anymore. Can you please talk to her like an older brother? I can't take it anymore. One day, I asked Corey to talk to his sister and tell her to get it together. What? You're going to treat my sister like that? She's my family. How can you say that? I've let her stay here for 2 months, even though she hasn't done anything. Isn't that enough? 2 months is more than enough time to get divorced and sort things out, but she's still here, doing nothing. She only leaves the house at night to go out. This was supposed to be a time to rest and recover, but it's over now. It's time for her to move on. Corey snapped at me. Shut up. You know what my sister has been through. You cold-hearted person. I didn't know you could be so cruel. I refused to back down. Okay, then, you help me with the housework. Huh? Help me with the housework. We both work. So why am I the only one doing everything around here and taking care of Michelle? If you care so much about your sister, then help out at home too. At least take Michelle to kindergarten. You've never done that. Even though you know I'm busy, you're not having a tough time like Judy, so you should be able to do this. Corey didn't know how to respond. He couldn't say anything because I was right. Finally, he said, well, that's what a wife is supposed to do. Huh? What's that? Are you treating me like this? You say you're upset about Judy's husband treating her badly, but it's okay for you to treat me this way? That's not what I meant. Can you at least drive Michelle from now on? Fine, fine. The issue with my sister-in-law wasn't solved, but at least I was happy that Corey was going to help with our daughter. But it didn't make things easier as much as I thought. Michelle has ballet class, and I'm still the one who has to drive her there. She goes every Saturday, and Corey says he has to stay home with Judy and her daughter, Amy, because he's worried about them. I never expected him to drive Michelle on Saturdays, but the problem is, the house is always a mess when I come back, and I have to clean up after everyone. When I asked Corey if he could at least keep the house clean, he said, I'm tired from all the driving. I need to rest on Saturdays. When I asked Judy to help with the housework, Corey said she didn't need to, so She just sits around doing nothing, acting like a princess. Corey seems to care more about Amy, his niece, than his own daughter. I'm worried because Michelle always seems so sad. One time, I asked her, "What do you talk about when he picks you up?" She said, "We don't talk. He never says anything." I was shocked. I had no idea he didn't even talk to his own daughter. Hearing this made me really angry at Corey. He talks so much to Amy that it probably annoys her, but he won't say a word to Michelle. My life has become so stressful and draining since Judy came. If she's going to stay any longer, I'll have to do something for my own sake, and that time comes sooner than I expect. While I'm in the bath, trying to relax from all the stress, I'm startled when I suddenly hear Corey shouting. I quickly throw on my clothes and rush into the living room. "Michelle, do you know what you just did?" "Huh?" When I get there, I see my daughter shaking with fear, tears streaming down her face. Corey is red with anger. No matter how many times Michelle apologizes, he yells, "You're a disgusting child, we need to beat that horrible attitude out of you," and doesn't listen to her at all. "Hey, calm down, think about what you're saying to her." I step in between Corey and Michelle to protect her. "Tell me what happened. I'll decide if you should scold her or not once I know." Michelle pushed Amy. She shoved her to the floor. "What? How could she push my sister's daughter? I didn't raise her like this. I can't believe my sweet daughter would push anyone like that." But when I look at Judy and Amy, I see Judy hugging and comforting Amy, crying. "That was awful what she did. You need to punish her, Corey," Judy says, glaring at Michelle and pushing Corey even more. Wait a second, maybe Michelle did push Amy, but why? She wouldn't just do that without a reason. Corey answers, "Amy wanted to read the book Michelle was reading, and then she pushed her." That's his explanation. Something doesn't feel right to me. "Michelle, I won't be mad. Can you tell me the truth? Did Amy pull the book away from you?" I ask gently, and she nods. "Maybe you were just trying to hold on to it, and then Amy slipped and fell." "Michelle?" I ask again. She nods repeatedly. I turn to Corey. "That's not what you told me." Michelle was just shocked by the sudden pull and tried to protect herself. She didn't push Amy. "Shut up. That doesn't change that she hurt my niece." "What? Are you saying your niece is more important than our daughter?" "Of course she is. My family is the most important thing to me, so my sister's child is precious too. If you're complaining about me protecting my family, then leave this house." I'm disgusted. This man has completely lost it. No matter how hard I try, we'll never see eye to eye. "You do know this house belongs to my father, right?" Corey looks surprised. Judy looks upset. "What do you mean?" she asks. "So, if anyone is leaving, it's you. If your sister is so important to you, why don't you rent a place and live with her and her kid? You'll be happy, right, since you love your sister so much? But I'm not sure if your salary can cover expenses for the three of you." Corey's furious. "Shut up, don't make fun of me." He slaps me across the cheek. I feel a sharp pain on my cheek, and I'm sure it's turning red. That's what happens when you don't listen to me. If you don't want it to happen again, do what I say. I rub my cheek and say, "Fine, I'll do what you say," and leave. I pack my things, take Michelle's hand, and head to my parents' house. My parents are furious when I tell them what happened. "Divorce him, that's the only choice, and I'm going to make them leave that apartment," says my dad, who owns the apartment. But I know Corey won't leave the house easily, so I start doing some research to prepare myself. I contact my in-laws to get more information about Judy's husband. I thought they might know something about him, but they say they haven't heard from Judy. According to them, Judy and her husband are doing fine. I start getting more suspicious of Judy's story, but I've only met her husband, Stan, briefly, and I don't have his contact info. My in-laws only contacted him through Judy, so they don't know how to reach him either. "I heard he works at a company called So-and-so. Why don't you try contacting them?" they suggest. So, I go to the company where Stan works. I vaguely remember his face, so I figure I'll recognize him. I wait near the end of the workday and find him. When I call out to him, Stan looks startled. He quickly asks, "Do you know where Judy is right now?" For a moment, I wonder if Judy really was suffering, but it seems that's not the case. We head to a coffee shop so I can hear his side of the story. Apparently, Judy was the one causing the trouble. "Does Corey know about this?" I ask. "Well, it doesn't matter," Stan says. "I just want to help." So, with Stan and my parents, we head back to my house to confront Corey and Judy. When Judy sees Stan, she's shocked. How did you find me? Judy, you know you owe me compensation, right? Stan says. It turns out Judy's story was a lie. She was having an affair, and Stan had already divorced her. Judy ran to our house because she didn't want to pay him. Stan couldn't reach Judy's parents because he didn't know how, and he was too busy at work to go to the countryside. He was ready to give up, but he managed to track her down through me. Are you still going to take your sister's side? I asked Corey. Of course, if she's cheating on him, it's his fault, he replies. Unbelievable. I'm done with Corey. I'm divorcing you, and I want you out of here. You're trespassing on my father's property. I've got medical records and a damage report for the slap you gave me. I'm filing a lawsuit for injury. Corey panics. Wait, you're joking, right? I'm serious. I'm done. We can talk, but I'm leaving. Corey begs, but I'm not changing my mind. Judy begs Stan to forgive her, claiming she has no money to pay him, but neither of us forgives them. I don't withdraw the report, and Corey gets arrested and fined. I also file for divorce and child support through my lawyer. Corey ends up with a huge debt. Judy has nowhere to go and has to pay Stan back. Her parents find out and disown her. Judy is sent back to their farm, where she works to pay off the compensation. Most of Corey's salary goes to paying his debt, and he's living in poor conditions now. As for me, I moved to an apartment near my parents' house so Corey can't show up unexpectedly. I'm living peacefully with my daughter. She's in elementary school now, has new friends, and is much happier. I'm focused on raising my precious daughter. Corey loved his sister too much and hurt his wife. What kind of husband does that? I don't know how these siblings turned out this way, especially with decent parents. At least Kate and Michelle are finally living peacefully. I hope they continue to live happily together. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.